The other thing she's done too is had some high profile freakouts when she's woken up in the middle of the night.
I heard you started screaming one night. You had a nightmare, huh?
Oh, because he was like, babe, can you move over? It was whenever we first started dating.
Whenever?
Huh?
The whole anytime? You can't whenever the first. Whenever is a broad spectrum.
When we first started dating, Logan, Paul.
I'm gonna help you.
I guess he was like, babe, can you move over? And I just started screaming. I thought that I was sleeping next to like a scary person.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
In many ways, you are sleeping next to a scary person.
Why do you say that?
Just like look.
You know what one of his ex-girlfriends told me? She like came to my show in New York. I guess it wasn't his ex-girlfriend, but it was a girl that he used to talk to that grew up with him. And she just kind of followed me around the club the whole night saying, Mike's a sociopath. I can't believe he likes you so much.
You should have asked her what that word meant. And you know what she would have said? You know what she would have said?
She bounced back and forth between sociopath and psychopath.
Do you know what she would have said if you asked her what the word meant? No one knows what that fucking word means. And
somebody who studies sociology.
Any normal human should not be diagnosing people sociopath. Like, there's a sociopathic spectrum. Every single human somewhere on it. Some people are 0, some people are 100.
She also woke me up the other night.
Sometimes I'm definitely more sociopathic.
Welcome to humanity. Like, everyone changes every day. Anyway, what?
She also woke me up the other night. We got in a fight at like, what time we get? Oh, she was trying to leave the house at 4:30 a.m. because she was telling me that I don't really like her.
Wait, we got in a fight.
She woke me. I look up next to my bed, and she goes, babe, I can't get out the front door. I'm like, probably because you're not supposed to be at the front door because it's 4:30 a.m. and you're supposed to be sleeping right fucking there. So what are you doing? She's like, I want to leave. You don't like me, and I know it. And I'm like, babe, slow the fuck down. I like you a lot. I'd like you even more if you were right here fucking sleeping right now. And she's like, I gotta get out of here. So finally I convince her. I'm like, listen, I don't know what you're feeling. We talked it out. She gets back in bed. Then, of course, you have the breakup. What happens next? The makeup sex. So now it's 4:45 a.m. I'm looking at the watch. Fucking I gotta get up and fucking like, what the fuck? So I finish. About an hour later, she wakes me up out of a sound sleep and she's like, bugs, they're everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this chick right now,
You gave me those worms.
I gave her CBD worms, and I think they're 3,500 milligrams. A person her size should probably take a half. She's like, babe, can I take 2 or 3 of these? I'm like, if you want to have fucking lucid dreams, yeah, go for it. And she started ranting about bugs. No.
And I was like, babes, there's weird bugs over here. And then I realized that there weren't bugs. And at that point, like, I already thought that, like, I, like, fucked up from, like, basically, like, keeping my boyfriend up all night and throwing a tantrum at 5 a.m. And then I wake up and have, like, what seems like a schizophrenic episode.
Guys, please help me.
And so I was like, shit, I really fucked up. He's going to break up with me.
I hear a lot of stories about your guys' relationship that makes me really want to be in a relationship. And then it's stories like that where I'm so happy that I'm not.
They're just little things. And you look past them and you say, you know, like, babe, like, I don't know what you're going through last night, but we worked past. I mean, there was one time where I took a edible, I think, or like a CBD that had like THC in it or some shit. And I was laying on the bed and I couldn't get it out of my mind that I thought that if she smiled at me, she would have corn as teeth. And it became a massive fear of mine. I'm like, I know as soon as she opens her mouth, she's going to have corn as teeth, rows of corn on the cob as teeth. And then later on that night, she was giving me head and I couldn't stop thinking that she was giving me head with corn teeth. And I couldn't come because I kept thinking, like, if there's enough friction, one of her teeth was going to pop into popcorn.
No.
Also, you were just saying a lot of weird things that night, and he wouldn't stop talking all night.
You don't say.
And you know what? And you know what her first thought was? Oh, he's clearly really going through it right now. I should fuck with him. And she's like, babe, oh my God. What the fuck is on your face right now? And I'm like, what? Why are you doing this? If you're fucking with me, please stop. And she's like, I'm not fucking with you. Something is on your face right now. It's growing. And I told her, I was like, what if you did that to me and I immediately ran and jumped out the window off the second story. I just ran and jumped through the glass out the window. What would you have done? And that's why you have to think before you do those jokes to people that are maybe not 100% mentally stable, like myself.